beloved child of God. Heaven pulled you here for a reason. This is not just a video. This is your confirmation. This is your word, straight from the throne room, a sacred whisper meant only for your heart. Angels have gathered. The Spirit is speaking. And something deep inside of you knows this is not random. This is revelation. Because what you're about to hear will change how you see everything, especially them, especially the one heaven chose for you, the one who once ran, the one who once feared, the one who now cries in silence because their heart can't hold it anymore. Angels say, this is your soulmate's final confession, and it will break something inside you and then heal it. They can't sleep, they can't eat, they can't fake peace anymore, because the weight of what they feel is no longer a secret they can keep. They've been pretending, smiling in public, laughing when people are around. But heaven sees what happens when they're alone. The tears, the regret, the shaking hands over a phone they almost dialed again and again. They are struggling, and it's not because they don't love you. It's because they do. They really do. And now, heaven is pulling the truth out of them. Their soul is crying out, not just for connection, but for correction, because they know they mishandled a miracle. They mistreated a divine gift, you, and now they're breaking inside. The angels say God gave them one more chance. And this time they said yes. Yes to confession. Yes to truth. Yes to you. This isn't just romance. This is repentance. This is their holy unraveling. And heaven wants you to hear it before it arrives. The Bible says in Proverbs 28:13, whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. They are done hiding, done pretending, done masking the ache with distractions, because the ache is real and the love even more real, and it's about to come spilling out, word for word, tear for tear, moment by moment. You are about to hear their heart, unfiltered, raw, and heaven says, prepare for tears, but not all tears are pain. Some are holy release, some are sacred relief, some are tears that wash away the delay, because this time, they mean it. They're not coming back confused. They're not showing up half-hearted. They're arriving with truth in their hands. And the final confession is already forming on their lips. Angels are guiding the timing. God is shaping the moment, and your spirit is already sensing the shift. Because when you're deeply connected, you feel things before they happen. You sense things no one else can see. And right now, that stirring in your chest, that tightening in your belly, that whisper that says something's coming, you're not imagining it. Heaven confirms it. Type, I feel it coming in the comments if your spirit agrees. Let heaven record your agreement. Tap like as your act of faith. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement so you don't miss what God is saying next. And if your heart is already moved, send a super thanks to sow into this sacred word. Because what's about to unfold was always part of God's plan. Even the delays, even the silence, even the confusion, all of it was part of their journey to truth. And now, that journey is at its final stage. They can't fight God anymore. They can't resist love anymore. They can't unfeel what was felt. They can't unsee what was shown, because in a moment of clarity, they saw your face and they broke. Tears ran without permission. Their knees hit the floor, and the words that fell from their mouth, "I miss them. I need them. God, let me make it right." And heaven listened, because God listens to hearts that break with honesty. Psalm 51:17 says, "The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit. A broken and contrite heart you, God, will not despise." And their heart is finally contrite, not because they lost you, but because they never deserved you in the first place. Yet God is merciful. God is redemptive. And this love, it's about to be restored in a way that only God could write. The confession they've been carrying is sacred. It's soaked in tears. It's been written in sleepless hours and tear-stained prayers. It's not just "I love you," it's deeper. It's "I was scared." It's "I didn't know how to love right." It's "I didn't know what I had until I almost lost it." And now they're coming back, not to take advantage, not to play games, but to surrender everything. They want to love you the way they were supposed to from the start, the way heaven intended, the way you deserve. Angels say, this confession will not be shallow. It will shake you, but in the best way. It will pull the truth from your own heart too, because you've been holding back. You've been guarding. You've been protecting what's left of your hope. But when they speak, that guard will fall, because you'll hear it. The honesty, the brokenness, the heaven in their voice, and your spirit will recognize it and know it's time. Not time for more waiting, not time for more delay, but time to let the past go and let the new thing begin. Isaiah 43:19 says, "Behold, I'm doing a new thing, now it springs forth, do you not perceive it?" Heaven says, it's already springing forth. You are standing at the door of their confession, and when it opens, everything changes, everything shifts, everything heals. So type, "I'm ready to hear the truth" in the comments if you're prepared for what's coming. Tap like if your heart is open. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement to stay in divine alignment. And send a super thanks to bless the journey of this word reaching others. They tried to run, but every road led back to you. They tried to forget, but your name kept echoing in their soul. They tried to love someone else, but nothing ever felt right again, because you were the one, and they knew it. But knowing didn't stop the fear. Knowing didn't cancel the wounds they hadn't healed. They were scared of how deep they loved you. Scared of how much power you held over their heart. So they hid, they ran, they made choices that broke both of you, and for a while, they thought it was over. They tried to move on. They smiled in public. They posted pictures. They acted like they were okay. But the angels saw. They weren't okay. They were lost. Their soul was screaming for what it once touched. You, the purest love. The one thing they never had to earn, and now they are crumbling. And the confession? It's growing, it's burning, it's boiling over like fire under pressure. The angels say, their tears are prayers now, and God is answering. You asked for truth. This is it. You asked for closure. This is more than that. This is sacred restoration, and heaven is guiding their every step. The Bible says in James 5:16, "Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed." Their healing begins with honesty. Their freedom begins with truth. And that's what they're bringing. No more pride, no more walls, just open hands, open heart, open soul. They want to confess that they still love you, that they never stopped, that every day without you felt like a silent storm, that every night they lay in bed and think of how different life would be if they had just held on. They want to say, "I messed up. I let go of the one person who truly saw me. I didn't know what real love was until I lost it." They want to whisper, "I still dream of you. I still remember the sound of your laugh. I still hear your voice in my quietest moments." Beloved soul, this isn't just a confession. This is heaven touching earth. This is the divine bending time and grace to restore what the enemy tried to destroy. What was broken is about to be mended. What was stolen is being returned. What was silent is now about to speak. And when it does, your whole atmosphere will shift. You'll feel a holy wind enter the room, a soft presence that makes your knees weak. Because God is in this, and you'll know. This was not orchestrated by man, this is divine. The angels say they've already written the words. It's in their journal, it's in their heart, it's in the messages they've typed and deleted at least 50 times. They're scared to send it, but heaven is pushing them forward. They're scared of rejection, but the Spirit is covering them with courage. They're scared of your silence, but God is whispering, "Now is the time." They're almost there, closer than you think. And you've felt it, that sudden sadness for no reason, that random wave of love and pain in the same breath, that moment you stopped scrolling and just stared into space. That was them, their soul calling yours, their spirit reaching across the distance. Because connection like this doesn't need words. It's spiritual, it's supernatural, and now it's about to become physical, audible, visible. They're coming to speak the truth that's been stuck in their chest for far too long. This is their final confession, and it will release them and you into the love you were always meant to walk in, a love that doesn't hide, a love that doesn't lie, a love that confesses boldly. Angels say, prepare for the moment, because it's already been written in heaven's timeline. Type, "I'm ready for this moment," in the comments if your spirit agrees. Tap like as a public declaration of agreement with heaven. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement so you never miss what God is speaking. And give us super thanks to sow into the breakthrough you feel coming. This next part is where they tell you what you always knew, but needed to hear out loud, because hearing it will set you free. Hearing it will break the last chain. Hearing it will let your heart finally breathe again. The confession is not only, "I love you," it's, "I see you now. I value you now. I honor who you are now." Because before, they weren't ready to love someone like you. They were too broken, too distracted, too double-minded. But now, their eyes have opened. and they realize you were not asking for too much. You were just asking the wrong person at the wrong time. But this time, the time is right. The season is ripe, and their soul is ready. Ready to apologize, ready to repair, ready to rebuild. This confession will carry weight. It will carry years of silence. It will carry all the unspoken feelings that never found words until now. It will carry guilt. It will carry grace. It will carry everything heaven has been preparing. So get ready, because the final confession is the doorway to the forever you've been waiting for. And it's closer than you think. Comment, I received this breakthrough, if your heart is open. Tap, like if this word feels like it was made for you. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement now, so you never miss the divine voice again. And give a super thanks to help this message reach every heart that's still waiting to hear the truth. What's about to be said will be the most honest thing they've ever spoken, and heaven is listening. The angels say, this is not just a message. This is a spiritual release, a divine exchange. Heaven has waited for this, and your soul has cried for this. There's something holy about truth, especially when it's been buried for too long, especially when it's been wrapped in silence, especially when the one who hurt you is now the one being healed. Because love doesn't always begin with perfection. Sometimes it begins with repentance. And what's coming to you is not a scripted apology. It's not manipulation. It's not shallow. It's raw. It's real. It's redemptive. Because this time, they're coming with understanding. Understanding of who you were, who you are, and who they need to become to love you right. They have wept over the memories. They have replayed your words again and again, especially the ones you thought they ignored, especially the ones you whispered with tears in your eyes. They remember. And now, so much of their silence was never rejection. It was fear. Fear of messing up something holy. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being exposed. Fear of loving you fully and failing again. But that fear is melting, because God has been dealing with them. Not punishing them, but purifying them. And this purification is what has led to this confession. They are not the same. They're not perfect, but they're changed. They've been in the fire, and the fire has refined them. The word says in Malachi 3, he will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. They've been through that refining, and it's brought them to this place of truth. A place where pride doesn't matter, where ego is gone, where the only thing left is love. Honest, humble, heaven-breathed love. The kind that stands in front of you with trembling lips and says, I was wrong. I didn't understand what I had. I didn't know how to carry your heart. But now I do. And if you let me, I'll spend my life cherishing what I once didn't know how to hold. Get ready, because this isn't just words. This is a confession soaked in prayer. This is a confession born out of fire. This is a confession God Himself has orchestrated, and when it comes, it will disarm every fear in your chest. It will soften the parts of you that turned cold. It will meet the exact place your heart was bleeding. Because God, He knows how to time everything perfectly. Angels say, the moment they speak it, the chains will break, not just around them, but around you. The questions that haunted you will finally get answers. The wound you've kept hidden will finally feel seen. Because this isn't about going backward, it's about stepping into divine alignment. They're coming not to rewrite history, but to restore what heaven never intended to die. And beloved, that includes your hope, your joy, your softness, your laughter. Your dreams, they're all about to be resurrected. Because when the confession is spoken, it breathes life back into the places you buried, and the angels are singing already. Because what's being birthed is not common, it's covenant. This is what they've been practicing for, what they've rehearsed 100 different ways, what they've whispered in empty rooms, imagining your face. They've said it to God, now they're ready to say it to you. It will go something like this. I never stopped loving you. I just didn't know how to love you without hurting you. But I've learned, I've grown, and I want to love you right now. I want to be there. No more delays. No more hiding. No more secrets. I'm ready. And beloved, this is the moment you've waited for. But don't be surprised if it comes quietly. A simple message, a trembling call, a knock you weren't expecting. But your spirit will know. This is it. The air will shift. Your body will react before your mind does. Because your soul has been waiting for this voice. And when you hear it, you'll cry, not from pain, but from relief, because you'll realize they finally found the courage to become the version of themselves that could love you well. You didn't lose. You were preserved. You weren't rejected. You were protected, so that this confession would come from a healed place, a holy place, a place where love and truth hold hands, and when they speak it, you won't have to ask if it's real. You'll feel it, the weight, the tremble, the glory of God resting on their words. You'll feel heaven, and beloved, you'll be faced with a choice, not just to hear, but to receive, because healing comes through acceptance. And this is what you've been prepared for. This is what all the waiting shaped you for, not just to be loved, but to recognize it when it finally arrives. The angels say, don't harden your heart. Don't let fear speak louder than faith. You were never crazy. You were never chasing fantasy. This love is real, and now it's ready. Type, I'm ready to receive, in the comments to claim this next part. Tap like if this word is touching your soul. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement so the next message finds you on time. And if this moment has broken something open in you, send a super thanks to bless this mission and carry the word farther. Because this is sacred ground. This is the moment. Their final confession will break every silence and birth something eternal. Are you ready? Because heaven says it's already happening. The angels are still singing. Because the truth, it's already being stirred. Their confession is no longer a maybe. It's a matter of divine timing, and timing is now aligning. Even as you hear these words, their heart is being softened, their mind is being cleared, their spirit is being nudged by God, by angels, by the ache that won't go away. Because what they feel for you is holy, and it won't be silenced. It tried, they tried. But heaven doesn't let truth die. It always comes back up. And now, they can't escape it. Every time they try to distract themselves, you appear. Every time they try to say, "It's over," a memory floods back in. A moment, a look, a prayer you once prayed out loud, and they remember, and their soul weeps, because deep down they know you are the one, not just a good person, not just a deep connection, but the one God highlighted, and now they're about to speak what they've never been able to say, the thing they buried under silence, the words that got stuck in their throat every time they looked at you. "I've always wanted you." That's what they'll say. "I was just afraid. I didn't think I deserved you. I thought love like this was too good to be true." But now, they see it. They feel it. They believe it. Because God has been speaking to them. Softly, consistently, through signs, through dreams, through unexpected reminders. They've been waking up with your name on their lips, falling asleep with tears on their pillow, asking questions like, "Did I ruin everything? Can God still redeem this?" And the answer, yes, yes, yes. Because when God writes the story, nothing is ever wasted. Not time, not distance, not delay. It all becomes part of the testimony, and the angels want you to know they're not coming back out of comfort. They're coming back with conviction, and that's different. It's deeper. It's divine. They've been wrestling with this for too long. They've tried to pretend they're okay, but the weight is too much, and it's pushing them toward release. The confession is the only way out, and God is calling it forth. Isaiah 30:18 says, "Yet the Lord longs to be gracious to you, therefore he will rise up to show you compassion." God is rising up. Compassion is covering this story. Mercy is making a way. And this confession is part of that mercy. It will be like an arrow through the atmosphere, breaking the walls you didn't even know you still had. Because sometimes, love needs a voice. And this time, you'll hear it loud and clear. No games, no riddles. Just truth, the kind that makes you weep, the kind that makes you believe again, the kind that makes you say, "Only God." The angels say, "Prepare for the shaking," not the kind that breaks things apart, but the kind that breaks things open. You'll feel it. The holy trembling in your chest, the chills down your arms, the stillness in the air. And then, the message, the voice, the moment, the one that feels like heaven has entered the room. You'll know it's them, and you'll know. This is the confession that shifts everything. Beloved, you haven't waited in vain. You haven't cried for nothing. Every night you spent on your knees, it planted this moment. Every tear you sowed, it watered this restoration. Psalm 126:5 says, "They that sow in tears shall reap in joy." And your reaping is near. This confession is your first harvest of joy, of peace, of clarity, of answered prayers. So don't harden your heart. Don't let disappointment speak louder than discernment. Listen with your spirit, not your fear, because when they say it, you'll know. It's not manipulation. It's not a trap. It's heaven, and heaven doesn't lie. The angels say, this is what they've rehearsed, over and over, in the mirror, in the car, in their dreams. The final confession, is coming, and with it, a flood of emotions you didn't know were still there. You'll cry, you'll shake, you'll feel the weight of the years all at once. But after that, peace. A peace that passes understanding. The kind that confirms. This love was never ordinary. It was always extraordinary. It was always heaven ordained, even when it looked hopeless, even when it looked buried, even when you gave up. God didn't. And now it's time. Type, "It's time for truth" in the comments if you feel this confirmation. Tap like as your yes to divine restoration. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement and turn on the bell. And if this word has pierced your heart, send a super thanks to bless what's birthing in the spirit. The moment is near. Heaven says, the air is already pregnant with truth. You may not see it yet, but in the spirit, it's already unfolding. The confession has taken root, and now it's blossoming, like a flower that's been waiting for the sun, like a promise that's been buried under fear. And now, fear is being cast out. Because perfect love drives out fear. John 4:18 says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear." And that's what this confession carries. Perfect love, not flawless, but full of God, full of mercy, full of clarity, and they're bringing it to you. Not with force, but with reverence, not demanding entry, but knocking gently on the door of your heart. The angels say, "You've been wondering if they still care." They do. You've been wondering if they think about you. They do. You've been wondering if they're too far gone. They're not. They're coming, and they're coming real, raw, remorseful, ready, not to impress you, but to finally honor you, with truth. The confession will sound like a trembling voice. It may arrive as a text, a call, a letter, a knock. But regardless of how it comes, it will carry glory. Because God is in it, and when heaven is in something, you can't ignore it. You can't resist it. You can only receive it. The angels say, this is their final confession, and it carries decades of destiny inside. Not just their words, but their tone. Their tears, their trembling breath as they speak, because this is everything they were too scared to say before, now poured out like oil on holy ground. They will say, "I never stopped thinking of you. I looked for you in everyone else. No one ever touched my soul like you did. I tried to move on, but I couldn't, because God keeps pulling me back to you. I was running from him, but he was using you to bring me home. You'll hear it, and everything inside of you will go still, because your spirit will say, this is it, the confirmation, the moment you weren't sure would ever come, but heaven never forgot. God never abandoned the blueprint, and angels never stopped ministering between you. Every prayer you prayed, they heard it. Every night you cried, they stood guard over you, and now they're rejoicing because the one your heart still whispers for is about to speak, and what they'll say will sound like redemption, will feel like relief, will taste like grace, and you will know. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. You were preserved for this love, for this moment, for this final confession. The angels say, this isn't just restoration, it's elevation. You both will rise after this, stronger, clearer, closer to God. And nothing will be the same, not your heart, not your home, not your future, because heaven is breathing on it, and what heaven breathes on lives again. So receive it. Receive the truth. Receive the confession. Let the tears fall. They're not weakness. They're worship. Let your guard down. It's safe now. God is in this. Let the past go. It served its purpose. Let the pain fall off. It was only preparing you for this promise. And now, the promise is at your door. Open it. Type, "I receive this confession," in the comments if your spirit is ready. Tap like as your act of surrender to God's timing. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement and tap the bell so heaven's whispers never miss you again. And if this message unlocked something in you, give a super thanks to honor the word and help carry it to someone else still waiting for their moment. Heaven is still moving, even as you breathe now, even as your heart races, even as tears rise in your eyes. The Spirit is near, and angels are surrounding you, because something sacred is being sealed, something heaven waited to release for so long. And now, it's being poured out. Your soulmate's heart is wide open, and the confession, it's no longer trapped inside. The words are forming, the courage is rising, the hesitation is fading, because divine urgency is overtaking fear. This is not about timing anymore. It's about obedience. They've heard the call, they've felt the pull, and they know, if they don't speak now, they may lose you forever. And that thought shakes them. It wakes them up in the middle of the night. It forces them to walk circles in their room. It causes their hands to tremble as they draft their message, because this isn't easy, but it's holy. And when God is involved, He makes a way even when the heart is afraid, even when shame whispers lies, even when the enemy tries to delay. God breaks through. And beloved, that breakthrough is already in motion. You've been sensing it, the sudden stillness, the soft weight in the room, the divine nudges, the sacred silence that says, something is near. It is. The confession is not just words. It's a shift. It's a key unlocking the next chapter of your destiny. And when you hear it, you'll understand why it took this long, why it had to break first, why they had to leave, why you had to heal, why silence was the only thing loud enough to bring the truth forward. Because what's coming wouldn't have been possible any earlier. They weren't ready. You weren't ready. But now, God says you are. Now the ground is holy. Now the hearts are softened. Now the wounds are scarred over, not bleeding. Now the confession won't reopen what was broken. It will close what needed to end, so something new can begin. A healed union, a heaven-made love. A love where both souls choose God first and each other fully. The angels say, this is not a recycled love. This is not a second-hand apology. This is the real thing, from a real heart. For a real purpose, you'll feel the difference. Because this time, there's oil on it, there's weight on it, there's glory on it. This is not a cycle, it's a circle. Coming full, coming divine, coming home. They'll say things like, I finally see it. I finally get it. I finally know what I almost lost. And you'll weep. Not because it hurts anymore, but because something inside you knew they'd come back with the truth. And now they are. And it feels like justice, like peace, like prophecy fulfilled. The angels say, "You are not crazy for still loving them. You are not weak for still believing. You are not foolish for still hoping. Your spirit knew what your eyes couldn't see. And now, your ears are about to hear what your soul has waited for." God is bringing it to pass. Isaiah 55:11 says, "So is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire." And this word, this confession, was always meant to be spoken, and it will accomplish healing. It will accomplish clarity. It will accomplish holy restoration. So when they speak, let grace lead, let mercy cover, let wisdom discern, and let peace rule. Because this time, it's not confusion, it's confirmation. You'll know it, you'll feel it, you'll breathe it in, and the tears that fall, they won't be from pain, they'll be from release. Release from the waiting, the wondering, the wait. Because now truth is here, and when truth enters, freedom comes with it. So type "I receive the truth" in the comments if this word touched you. Tap like as a holy agreement with heaven's plan. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement now to stay under the flow of divine words, and give a super thanks to bless this message and help it reach those still waiting on their own moment of confession. It's getting closer, the moment heaven circled on your timeline, the moment your soul has cried for in silence, the moment that seemed delayed but was never denied. The confession is coming, and when it does, you'll feel heaven's breath over your shoulder. You'll feel the Spirit settle in the room. You'll feel every prayer echo back to you, because God is faithful, and the angels want you to hear this loud. You were never asking for too much. You were just waiting for what was real, what was right, what was ready, and now they are ready. They've been through the fire, the heartbreak, the consequences, the conviction, and they've come out changed, humbled, softened, sober. They've been talking to God about you, whispering your name through broken prayers, asking if it's too late, asking if you've moved on, asking if the door is still open. And God, He didn't condemn them. He comforted them. He didn't shame them. He shepherded them. And now they know. What they ran from was holy. What they pushed away was heaven sent. And what they're about to do is confess it completely, without ego, without games, without defense. They will not blame you. They will not justify themselves. They will not twist the past. They will tell the truth, the raw, heavy, aching truth, because they're tired of holding it, tired of hiding it, tired of trying to outrun what their soul already claimed. They will say, "I wasn't strong enough back then. I was scared to be known. I didn't believe I was worthy of love like yours. But now I know. I know what I want. I know who I need. And I know God is calling me to speak it before it's too late." That's why heaven says, don't be surprised when the message comes. Don't be shocked when their name appears on your screen. You'll feel it before it even arrives. You'll feel the trembling in the air, the heaviness in your chest, the quiet pull on your spirit. And then you'll see their words or hear their voice, and the tears will fall. Because this isn't just a confession. It's a resurrection of love, of hope, of destiny. The angels say, this was always going to happen. It was written. It was sealed. It was protected until the timing was right. You didn't miss it. You didn't ruin it. You didn't wait in vain. This is your reward for trusting. This is your answer for surrendering. This is your moment for believing, even when it didn't make sense, even when others called you delusional, even when your own heart doubted. God never did, and neither did the angels assigned to this story. They guarded it, they watered it, they protected your heart through every season. And now, they are rejoicing, because what's about to be spoken is sacred. It will reach you, it will wreck you, it will revive you all at once. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." And you have been crushed for too long. Now it's time to be carried, loved, healed, and it begins with this confession. So let your heart open again, not carelessly, but courageously. Let the walls lower, let grace enter, let discernment lead, but don't run. Not from what you prayed for, not from what heaven preserved. Because this time, it's different. This time, it's holy. This time, it's covered in glory. Comment, this time it's real if your heart is prepared. Tap, like to affirm your readiness. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement now to remain aligned with what God is saying. And if this word has stirred you, give a super thanks to bless what heaven is building through this message. They're coming undone, not in chaos, but in clarity. Because when love is real, it refuses to stay silent. It breaks through the noise, it breaks through the shame, it breaks through the time and distance and delay, and that's what's happening now. The silence is breaking, the walls are falling, and the truth, it's rising, like breath that's been held too long. Like emotion that can't be suppressed, like tears that refuse to be swallowed anymore. The angels say, this confession isn't optional, it's divine instruction. God has told them, speak now, don't wait. Say what's buried before it's too late. And they're listening. Because love like this doesn't come twice. They feel the urgency, they feel the trembling, they feel heaven pushing their heart forward, and they are about to obey. This obedience, it's not small, it's everything. It's surrender. It's sacrifice, it's sacred vulnerability, and beloved, they are finally ready, not ready to impress you, but to honor you, not ready to fix the past, but to start something healed, not ready to be perfect, but to be present, fully, truthfully, lovingly. They're coming not with solutions, but with submission to what God is doing. They will say, I don't want to run anymore. I don't want to hide behind fear. I want to walk in truth. I want to choose you freely, finally, fully. And when those words reach your ears, you'll feel it in your bones. You'll feel something shift inside, the ache, the longing, the unanswered questions. They'll all collapse in that moment, and what will remain? Peace, glory, God. Because only He could have written this. Only He could have sustained this. Only He could have taken what broke you and turned it into a beginning, not a repeat, a resurrection. The angels say you'll know this is the one, because their voice will sound like healing. Their tone will carry a weight it never had before. Their words won't just reach your ears. They'll reach your soul, and you'll recognize it, because you've waited, because you've prayed, because you never settled for counterfeit. You said no to lesser things, so heaven could say yes to this. And now, heaven is responding with a moment you didn't expect, but your soul always believed in. Romans 10:10 says, "For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you confess and are saved." And this confession, it will save something. It will save a love that was almost lost. It will save a story that was almost erased. It will save a destiny that was almost aborted by fear. But God stepped in. God preserved it. And now, you're about to see why the delay happened. You're about to understand what the pain was preparing. You're about to step into what prophecy always pointed toward. So breathe, don't panic, don't overthink, just stay soft, stay listening, stay surrendered. The moment is near, the confession is coming, and it will unlock the next part of your story. So type, "I'm stepping into the promise" in the comments. If your spirit says yes, tap like to declare alignment. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement and make sure you're under this covering. And give a super thanks if this word touched something you didn't even know needed healing. Because the next knock on your heart is not random, it's redemption. The angels are closer now, hovering, watching, guarding this sacred moment, because they know what's about to happen. They've seen it written in heaven's books. They've stood beside your soulmate in their darkest hour, in their quiet breakdowns, in their whispered prayers that sounded like, "God, if I ever get the chance, I won't waste it again." And heaven took that prayer seriously. God held it, and now He's moving. The moment you thought would never come, it's approaching. Step by step, breath by breath. It's no longer a maybe, it's a matter of when. And beloved soul, it's close, so close. You'll feel it in the atmosphere. You'll feel it in the quiet moments when your chest tightens for no reason, when you suddenly look up from your day and feel tears pool in your eyes. That's your spirit reacting to what's on the way, to what's already forming. Their confession is not just a message, it's a door. A doorway into something brand new, not recycled, not familiar, but transformed. And the angels want you to prepare. Prepare your heart. Prepare your environment. Prepare your spirit. Because the voice of love is about to find you again. And this time, it won't stutter, it won't pause, it won't avoid the pain. It will walk straight into it and pull you out with words like, "I regret how I handled your heart. I should have fought harder. I should have listened to your silence. I should have protected what we had." They'll say, "You were never the problem. My own fear was, and I finally faced it." They will tell you, "I love you, but not in the old way. This love has changed me. This love brought me back to God. This love taught me what patience means." And when you hear it, the tears will fall, but not in sorrow, in reverence, because something sacred will be breaking open inside of you. Something that's waited too long to exhale, and in that moment, you'll understand why God made you wait, why He didn't let you settle, why He kept you hidden while others were being chosen, because you were being protected. So this confession wouldn't come from confusion, but from clarity. So it wouldn't come from immaturity, but from surrender. so it wouldn't come with conditions, but with covenant. This time, it's not words, it's worship. Their confession will feel like an altar, where you both lay down your past, where you lay down your pride, and you choose what heaven ordained all along, each other, again, but better. Psalm 85:10 says, "Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other." That's what this is, mercy and truth finally meeting. Peace and righteousness finally touching. You're about to feel a holy kiss of reconciliation, and nothing will remain the same. Not your thoughts, not your mornings, not your prayers, not your future. Everything will shift, because love finally found its voice. So let your soul breathe. Let the walls drop. Let grace rise, and trust the divine choreography that's unfolding. You didn't miss it. You were made for it. So type, "I was made for this moment" in the comments if this feels like your word. Tap like as your act of surrender to heaven's perfect design. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement and keep yourself aligned with every word God sends. And if your heart feels this deeply, give a super thanks to bless what is flowing through this sacred release, because your soulmate is about to say what they've held back for far too long. And when they do, it will sound like destiny. This is it, the final stretch. The moment heaven has hovered over for months, maybe years. Every delay was part of it. Every disappointment, a redirection. Every silence, a divine reset. And now, the reset is over. The revelation is here. The angels say, this isn't just the ending of the silence, it's the beginning of everything, because their confession isn't just about how they feel, it's about what they finally understand. They finally see who you are. They finally value what they lost. They finally understand the weight of your love. And they can't stay quiet anymore. It's no longer an option, because God has made it unbearable to pretend. They've tried to bury it, tried to suppress it, tried to convince themselves they were fine, but nothing worked, because love like this, it doesn't go away. It grows louder, stronger, heavier, until it bursts. And now it's bursting, and the angels say, when it does, it'll come fast. It'll come raw. It'll come with trembling hands and honest eyes, and you'll know, because their words won't be polished. They'll be pure. They won't be planned. They'll be poured out like oil on your heart, healing every place that's been waiting. They will say, I feel like I've been chasing peace everywhere, but it was with you all along. I looked for home in people who didn't know how to hold me, but home was in your heart. I was foolish. I was scared. I was lost, but now I'm found. They'll quote words you once said. They'll recall prayers they overheard from your lips. They'll remember the way you loved them even when they were unlovable, and it will bring them to their knees because no one has loved them like you did, and no one will again, because what you carried was heaven-born, and now they finally see it and beloved. That's when everything changes, because confession unlocks restoration, and God is breathing on this. Joel 2:25 says, I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten. And those years are about to come back to you, not as pain, but as purpose, not as sorrow, but as strategy, not as loss, but as legacy. Because what the enemy tried to destroy, God is reviving, and the confession is the beginning of that revival. So hold space, make room, not just in your schedule, but in your spirit, because something holy is knocking, and it wants to come in. Don't resist it. Don't fear it. Don't question if you're worthy of it. You are. You've always been, the angels say. This isn't just about reunion. It's about realignment. It's about two hearts finally moving at heaven's rhythm, two souls finally stepping in step with prophecy, two lives finally bowing to what God always intended. You're about to experience a love that confesses, repents, heals, covers, and builds, not from fantasy, but from faith, not from perfection, but from partnership. And when it comes, you'll know. You'll feel the power in the atmosphere. You'll sense angels all around, because heaven doesn't stay quiet when destiny speaks. So type, "This is my moment of restoration," in the comments if this feels like your time. Tap like as a public agreement with divine timing. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement so this river of revelation never stops flowing to you, and give a super thanks if this message healed something you didn't even know was still broken. The spiritual realm is stirring, something sacred is shifting, even as you listen now, even as your heart leans in. The angels say, "This is not imagination, it's confirmation." The pressure you felt lately, the restless nights, the random bursts of emotion, they're not accidents, they're previews, signs that something's breaking loose in them and in you. And when it breaks, words will pour out like rivers, truth will spill like light, and it will meet you like a long-lost embrace, because their confession is not just about love, it's about transformation. They are not who they used to be, and they don't want who they used to be. They want to be new for you, with you beside you. They've wrestled, they've wandered, they've wept in places no one could see, and every time, the answer led them back to one thought: you. You were the gift they didn't know how to unwrap, the miracle they didn't know how to hold. And now, they're ready to say the words they never had the courage to say, to finally admit what pride tried to silence. They'll say, "I didn't realize I was pushing away my own answered prayer. I tried to fill the hole you left, but nothing worked. I now know. Only God could have written what we had, and only God could have brought me back here. This moment is sacred because it's not about romance, it's about redemption, not about ego, but about eternity. This is heaven mending what hell tried to sever. And you're standing on holy ground, so breathe and listen, because when they speak, it will echo in your soul, in your memory, in your chest. Every "I miss you" will carry the weight of 1,000 prayers. Every "I'm sorry" will carry the healing of 1,000 wounds, and every "I still love you" will carry the power to resurrect what you thought was lost forever. Because that's what truth does. It revives, it rewrites, it reconciles, and God, He specializes in all three. Corinthians 5:18 says, "All this is from God, who reconciled us to Himself through Christ and gave us the ministry of reconciliation." This is that ministry. This is that miracle. The angels say, don't miss it, don't dismiss it, don't talk yourself out of receiving it, because this is what you prayed for when no one was watching. This is what your soul whispered for when your lips stopped asking, and now it's knocking, not to shake your life, but to steady it, not to rewind the past, but to write the future. So let your walls down, let your heart listen, let your soul trust, because heaven doesn't lie, and the voice you're about to hear will sound like something you lost but never stopped. Loving, they're coming, not for closure but for covenant, not to fix the old story, but to begin a new one. So type, "I." Open the door to restoration in the comments if your heart is ready. Tap like to say yes to divine timing. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement now so heaven can keep pouring into your life. And if this word touched you deeply, give a super thanks to honor what's being awakened in the spirit. You didn't imagine this. You didn't hold on in vain. You didn't cry those tears for nothing. Every moment, every delay, every ache was leading here to this moment, to this word, to this divine confession. Their words will be your healing. Their tears will be your confirmation. Their voice will be the answer to the prayer you whispered when no one else believed in it, because you never stopped loving and heaven never stopped listening. This is not just a chapter. This is a resurrection of joy, of clarity, of connection, of holy alignment. And now it is finished. The old cycle, the confusion, the silence, the waiting, it is finished. And what begins next will be sacred, will be sweet, will be strong, because it is built on truth and birthed through fire. So breathe it and let the final confession settle in your soul. Let it wash over you like water. Let it release what you've carried too long, because you are not just being loved, you are being chosen again by the one who now sees clearly, and by the God who saw you first. Type "It is finished" in the comments. If this final word confirmed your spirit, tap like if your heart is ready for restoration. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement so heaven's messages keep finding you on time. And if this full prophetic word moved you deeply, give a super thanks to sow into the love, healing, and truth it carried to your life and others, because the angels are still singing and heaven is still moving. This was your word and it will not return void. Amen.